The morning of September 4, 1997, dawned bright and clear over Tan Son Nhat Airport in Ho Chi Minh City. The sun glinted off the sleek bodies of aircraft, and the air buzzed with the familiar rhythm of an airport coming alive. Passengers, their faces a mix of anticipation and excitement, checked in for their flights, their bags disappearing onto conveyor belts. Among them were the 63 passengers and 7 crew members preparing to board Vietnam Airlines Flight 191, bound for Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Flight 191 was scheduled to be operated by a Tupolev Tu-134, a twin-engine airliner designed and built in the Soviet Union. The flight crew, led by Captain Nguyen Van Huy, was experienced and well-respected within Vietnam Airlines. The mood in the cockpit was professional as the pilots completed their pre-flight checks with practiced efficiency. They were prepared for a routine short-haul flight, unaware that a series of seemingly insignificant events were already conspiring against them. The Tupolev Tu-134, once the pride of the Soviet aviation industry, was a familiar sight in the skies above Vietnam and other nations within its sphere of influence. Designed in the early 1960s, the Tu-134 was intended to be a rugged and reliable workhorse, capable of operating from short runways and in challenging conditions. However, by the mid-1990s, the Tu-134 was increasingly viewed as outdated, lacking the advanced avionics and safety features of newer Western-built aircraft. Despite its age, the Tu-134 on that fateful day in September 1997 was considered airworthy by Vietnamese aviation authorities. It had undergone regular maintenance and inspections. However, the aircraft lacked some of the sophisticated warning systems found on newer aircraft, systems that might have alerted the crew to the developing danger. The stage was set for a tragedy, a confluence of human error and technological limitations.
Vietnam Airlines Flight 191, you are cleared for takeoff.
Roger, cleared for takeoff.
As Flight 191 taxied towards the runway, the pilots received their takeoff clearance from air traffic control. The captain, with his years of experience, guided the aircraft down the runway, the roar of the engines growing louder as they spooled up to takeoff power. The Tu-134 lifted gracefully into the air, beginning its climb out over the sprawling cityscape of Ho Chi Minh City. Unbeknownst to the pilots, a subtle error had crept into their takeoff calculations. They had miscalculated the required climb rate for the aircraft's weight and the prevailing weather conditions. This seemingly small mistake, easily made in the heat of the moment, would have far-reaching consequences. It set in motion a chain of events that would ultimately lead to disaster. As Flight 191 ascended through the clouds, the pilots were likely confident in their progress. The flight seemed routine, the aircraft responding normally to their commands. However, the small error in their climb rate calculation was having a cumulative effect. Unseen by the pilots, the aircraft was not gaining altitude as quickly as it should have been. Compounding the problem, the Tu-134 lacked a ground proximity warning system, a critical piece of safety equipment that would have alerted the pilots to their dangerously low altitude. The pilots, focused on their instruments and unaware of the looming danger, continued their climb, blissfully unaware that they were flying too low. The first indication of trouble came when the aircraft's wing clipped the tops of some tall trees.
Captain, we've hit something. We're too low.
The impact, though relatively minor, should have served as a desperate wake-up call to the pilots that something was terribly wrong. They were far too low, their aircraft in imminent danger of crashing.
Full power now. We need to gain altitude.
Adrenaline surging, the pilots attempted to correct the situation. They applied full power, attempting to gain altitude and avoid a collision with the ground.
It's too late, Captain. We're not gaining altitude.
However, it was too late. The aircraft, its momentum too great, continued its descent, slamming into a rice paddy with terrifying force. The impact was catastrophic, tearing the aircraft apart and scattering wreckage over a wide area. The crash of Vietnam Airlines Flight 191 was a scene of unimaginable devastation. The once proud Tu-134, now a mangled wreck of twisted metal and shattered components, lay smoldering in the rice paddy. The impact had claimed the lives of all 63 passengers and 7 crew members, their hopes and dreams extinguished in an instant. Emergency responders rushed to the scene, only to be confronted with the grim reality of the situation. There were no survivors. The crash of Flight 191 sent shockwaves through Vietnam and the international aviation community. How could such a tragedy occur on what should have been a routine flight? The demand for answers was immediate and insistent. The tragic loss of Vietnam Airlines Flight 191 served as a harsh reminder of the importance of aviation safety. In the wake of the disaster, Vietnam Airlines implemented a series of safety improvements. The airline retired its aging fleet of Tu-134s, replacing them with newer, more modern aircraft equipped with advanced safety features. The airline also enhanced its pilot training programs, focusing on crew resource management, communication skills, and the importance of adhering to standard operating procedures. The crash of Flight 191 underscored the critical need for continuous improvement in aviation safety, a lesson that resonated throughout the industry. In the years since the crash of Vietnam Airlines Flight 191, the aviation industry has made remarkable strides in safety. Technological advancements, such as ground proximity warning systems, enhanced flight simulators, and improved weather forecasting have significantly reduced the risk of accidents. Pilot training has also evolved, with a greater emphasis on human factors, risk management, and automation. While the skies are undoubtedly safer today than they were in 1997, the quest for aviation safety is an ongoing endeavor. Human error remains a factor in a significant percentage of aviation accidents, highlighting the need for continued vigilance, training, and a commitment to safety at all levels of the industry. The memory of Vietnam Airlines Flight 191 serves as a poignant reminder of the human cost of complacency and the importance of never letting our guard down when it comes to the safety of those who fly.